People, what's going on? Team Rival here. Today's Manly Day. If you're under the age of 17, click out of this. This is adult advisory. As you can tell, motherfucking Berserk. You know, I was gonna make a video about this before Phone did, and he fucked up my whole plan, so fuck you, Phone. I'm the real Berserk champ. Listen, are you gonna listen to Hokuto? I got it. Got a lot of Hokuto here. Or are you gonna listen to Bonkuto? No, you're not going to listen to Bonkuto, you're going to listen to Hokuto, and I am Hokuto. So therefore, I'm going to talk to you about motherfucking Berserk, one of the, and I mean absolutely the best mangas out there. Period. End of story. If you don't agree, you do not know good storytelling. I hold in my hand Berserk. Manga 30, Volume 30. Why am I calling it Manga 30? Why Volume 30? Because you need to be at least fucking 30 to appreciate the manliness. You need hair all over your fucking chest. You need facial hair, like mine. You need hairy-ass motherfucking balls if you are going to read this series and really appreciate what's going on here, because this is fucking a work of art. I had the PS2 game before Phone, way well before Phone. I even modded my PS2 to play Hokuto no Ken. So, I'm the Berserk champ there. You might have seen the series before me, but let's not give him too much credit, okay? And, like those said, the manga, it's just seriously one of the best mangas I've ever read. So, why am I making this video about Berserk today? Well, really, the main topic I want to talk about is the movies that are coming out. Yes, early in 2011, they had announced that they were not so much rebooting as just sort of reimagining the whole Golden Age arc, which is what the anime is based on, the Golden Age arc, 26 episodes. Fucking watch it. If you have not seen it, that last couple of episodes, not even just, do not watch that shit at night. Do not watch that shit if you're a kid. Do not watch that shit if you wet the bed or anything like that, because you will have some terrible fucking nightmares. That's all I'm saying. But as I was saying, they're coming out with 3 movies remaking the Golden Age arc. And for a Berserk fan such as myself, or pretty much any Berserk fan I knew, this was huge news, because not only was it, you know, oh, they're going to put it in HD now, it just, the trailers are out of this world. Like, you know, Full Metal Alchemist, it came out on Blu-ray, but I don't think it really took full advantage of the you know, the potential and the specs that Blu-ray has. Pretty much any anime series really I've seen doesn't take absolute full advantage of the Blu-ray. And this, just, you know, based on the clips I've seen and the trailers and shit like that, this takes full advantage of what Blu-ray can motherfucking do. And I'm just floored and excited. So what are my expectations? Well, it's kind of hard for me to, you know, think that these movies, I know they will be as good as the anime, but for me, the anime didn't really have too many flaws. You know, filler, I think, is the biggest issue, but that's not so much an issue like as with Berserk or just in anime in general, rather. Because anime, you know, with these series, there's always going to be some sort of filler, some sort of nonsense that some fucking executive producer or creator or something like that just decides we need some extra, you know, toppings on top of the ice cream, so let's fucking make Goku drive a car, or Kakashi's mask, or some dumb bullshit like that. I really think that these movies will be over the top. Like, you cannot expect anything better, because there's 3. They're not trying to fit this shit into 1 or 2, but 3 movies. So imagine that. I'd say the movies are going to be about an hour and a half, hour maybe. So we'll get at least 3 hours. And this story that is presented in the Golden Age arc could definitely be told in 3 hours, I think. But I think the most appropriate route to take is make them an hour and a half. So you have, you know, 4.5 hours. Did I do the math right? Yeah, 4.5 hours. And if you have 4.5 hours, you can tell the whole entire fucking Golden Age arc with the greatest details and the most beautiful animation, and they really look like high quality productions, and I'm eagerly anticipating the day that these come out, because they're not just stopping at the Golden Age arc, because what would be the point then? You know, we already have an anime of the Golden Age arc. No, They're going straight through the motherfucking manga. And for me, Golden Age arc is like little like Nickelodeon, Nick Jr., Krusty the Clown kitty shit compared to what goes on in some of the later arcs, like when Guts, some of the shit that Guts goes through and stuff that you see Guts, the main character, in case you didn't know what I was fucking talking about. Some of the stuff he experiences and just some of the, like, you just really feel for him. That's the best part of Berserk, I think, is character development. Series like Naruto and even series like Dragon Ball Z, they don't have very consistent, you know, character development. The character will act one way. Perfect example for me, I think, is Vegeta. Don't get me wrong, you know I fucking love Dragon Ball Z. Like, come on, you know anything about me, but there are flaws to the series. Vegeta, he had all this rage and just, you know, one day he's like, well, I need to help the Earth, so now I don't have rage anymore, I have a family, so not the best, most realistic character development. Guts, as a main character, feels real. You can tell when he's stressed out, you can tell when he's upset, you can tell when he's happy. He has a very wide range of emotions, as do, you know, Griffith, Casca, and the whole band of whatever they're called. And it was just the way that these emotions are conveyed, and just some of these scenes are just like, oh my god, this is the coolest thing I've ever watched. Top 5 anime. Straight, I'm not even bullshitting. Top 5 anime right there. Because, let's think about it. Here we go. Top 5 anime for me. This is real tough, but I can definitely name fucking 4 that are up there. Cowboy Bebop, no specific order. I'll save that for a different video. Top 10 anime. I'd like to do some top 10 videos later on, but that'll be later on. Cowboy Bebop, Dragon Ball Z, Fist of the North Star, Berserk. Like, can you just say manly, 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 and manly? That's all it is. It's just pure manliness. Like, look at this guy. He's a fucking machine. Do you understand what is going on this manga cover? He's fucking stabbing this demon in the eye. This is dude, Die Hard 2. Bruce Willis stabbing him in the eye. It is just... this is just one of the best series I think you could possibly read at this point in time, because it's still in publication. So, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to read Fist of the North Star, I don't want to read JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, they're old, you know, they're not coming out with new stuff. No motherfucking excuse. Berserk is still a very relevant anime, in my opinion. Especially when you go into, like, the shoujo. Not I'm too good with these categories. I'll be the first to admit it. I don't know jack shit about these categories. No, I wouldn't say I don't know jack shit, but I don't know as much as your typical, you know, anime freak like Phone or someone like that. Yeah, he's an anime freak. That's what he always calls himself that, so there you are. You're a fucking freak. So this is just the pure pinnacle of shoujos. You know, you have... like I said, Fist of the North Star, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Berserk is right up there in terms of, you know, quality shoujo. I would even say it's like past shoujo. This is like, you need to be like an old man, like Father Time reading this stuff to be able to appreciate all the themes, all the emotions, like I said, all the symbolism, just so many things, because it's, in a lot of animes and a lot of mangas, you don't really get your typical sort of what's the theme, what's the symbolism. And for me personally, I really appreciate that stuff in a story because it shows that the author or writer, whoever the hell drew, or whatever the fuck you want to call them, really, you know, took this idea and didn't just think of, oh, here's a storyline and this is how it branches out. You know, they try to hint at things in advance and kind of, you know, use certain elements of the story to kind of convey, oh, this will happen later, but you won't understand, you won't realize that this, you know, this is foreshadowing this. And Berserk is a really just, I feel like, the way I see Berserk, it's kind of interesting because it's set in such a weird universe too. It's set in, like, England, or not necessarily England, but like a medieval England sort of, you know, time period where everyone's got swords and there's castles and shit like that. And it's just, I feel like this could have been written in a novel form, and it still would have, you know, hit a home run, I think. That's the kind of, you know, depth and quality that there is to this story that, you know, you don't see that in animes and mangas. You know, you couldn't write a Dragon Ball Z novel. It would be a joke. Berserk, real emotions, real gruesome shit, real fucking manly, and if you, like I said, if you haven't watched this, especially after Phone's video, you know, I heard Phone's video was great. Phone's video was not that good. I'll give him that. I'm tired of, you know, webcam, blue room, alright, we get it. My video is better. Listen to me. Always listen to me. I am right. When have I been wrong? Never. Ever on YouTube have I ever been wrong. And if you sit down, read, I mean, you can watch the anime, but you're only getting such a small percentage of what this series has to offer. And the manga is just over the top, violent, like gruesome, like to the max. Like it doesn't even compare to the anime. The anime is like small fries in terms of violence compared to the manga. The manga has some gruesome, like, you feel for Guts. Guts is the sort of main character. He's a tragic hero. That's exactly what he is. He's a tragic hero. You feel for him, and you want to push for him, but you know that, well, the road ahead is very long and very frivolous. Whatever. I don't know what the hell I'm saying at this hour of the night. But I think the manga is coming up to an end soon. Not too soon, but I think that you know, they're kind of going up the hill, and oh, we've almost reached the top, but you know, you still got a little ways to go. So catch on, watch the series, watch the movies when they come out. I'm getting the Blu-rays. They're not going to be over here in America for a while, because the movies haven't even been released in Japan yet. They still need to be dubbed into English, which I hope they do an excellent job with the English dubbing, because the anime dubbing was over the top. Like, that's one series. There's a few series I would recommend watching in English. I'm sure which ones. I've said them a million times before. Watch Berserk in English. I think that the story is better conveyed this way because it doesn't feel like it's in a Japanese universe. You could watch it either way. It's fucking AAA dubbing, subbing, whatever the hell you want to call it, for both sides of the plate. So you really couldn't go wrong. But me personally, I love the English dubbing on this. So watch it in English. You will not regret it. But alright, so I have a little quote-unquote project. Not really a project, but my next video is going to be, you guys recommend me shit. You can recommend me games, although I don't really recommend that, because unless you're like a hardcore gamer, I pretty much have almost heard of every single game that someone did, like, you know, unless it's really obscure and really out there. Anime, that's really the main focus, I think, is I want to check out some different animes, especially plus they're on Netflix or something like that. They're easily accessible. I don't have to, you know, go through fucking loops to get these things. Or manga even, although manga, that's probably something I wouldn't read too much, but you guys can recommend me things, so the one thing I want to say about this, well, before you just start writing down things and save it for the next video, and think about what I like. Don't just recommend what you like. Think about, this is, you know, to be selfish, this is for me. This isn't for you guys. This is for me to find some different series to review, you know, something out of the box. Don't just go for mainstream shit, because I'm pretty sure I've heard of the mainstream stuff. Try to be a little bit more obscure. Give me good reasons to watch it. And, you know, you can send me links through private messages. You know, people do that sometimes, and that's cool, whatever. I don't mind that. I'll check the links out. Not that I always check my private messages, so I apologize if in advance for that. But wait for this video, and then start recommending me stuff, because I'll kind of tell you what my tastes are in terms of, you know, music, TV. You'll get a better feel for me as a person in terms of my tastes in general. So it should be pretty interesting to see if you guys can either recommend me series or you just recommend me complete shit, which I don't think you will, but I wouldn't put it past you. But anyways, guys, I'm gonna go play Elder Scrolls. I had over 80 hours in that game, and I have no clue how that happened. But until then, peace.